Should you summon Shaman King Part 2 featuring HAO and Taorin? Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking about this thing for what? About 3 months now? 4 months maybe? Ever since this thing got shown off in JP, and he is finally here. After his long-awaited arrival, the boy HAO is finally here, and we've already talked about this unit multiple times on the channel. Of course, not too much about Ren or anything, but we'll talk about him in this video. We literally talked about HAO yesterday. I've made videos about HAO whenever he was first released. I've also covered him in the Shaman King crossover video. I covered all the characters, by the way, if you want to check that out. And it's a really hype time. It really is. But one thing that we don't know yet, or I haven't actually seen yet, is who's all on this banner. So that is what I'm going to currently check out. So we have, of course, HAO, Taorin, Ashley, which is a brand new character. Wait, that's not. Wait, is that still pronounced Ashley? Oh, that's still pronounced Ashley. That's like what? That's like Ash League. What the heck is this translation team? Hanoka and Raki. Oh my god, this banner is actually kind of trash. And this banner will also have the exact same thing that the previous banner had, where it's going to have a step up, and if you go through the step up, you're able to get a crossover equip. There are no new crossover equips though coming with part 2, so you don't have to worry about that. The only thing new that's coming with part 2 is of course the event equips, and HAO and Taorin. Those are the only new things coming to the game, which probably means that unless Miranda is in like a week or so, the game's going to become very stale once we get to around this time next week. Yeah, it's not going to be looking good for us boys. But let's talk about each of these characters briefly real quick before we do all of our usual shenanigans. So HAO, the man's finally here. He's pretty much the premier, top of the line, one of the best fire nukers to ever be released in the game. He's gonna be doing tons and tons of DPS for you, especially if you're into fire nuking. Can be a solid attacker outside of that, but of course I think some other attackers still offer a lot better viability. But that still doesn't discredit any of the stuff that he's doing. He has an insanely high multiplier, really good debuffs that he applies with magic resist and also fire resist down. Out of his passives, the only one that's like really notable is just the Future King passive, which allows him to generate 7 art gauge per second as long as your HP is above 70% HP. Yeah, there's really not much else to say. You need a fire nuker, don't look any further than HAO. Does tons and tons of damage, decent attacker all around, really good slots. There's not really much else to say here. He's just overall a really good unit. Very solid. The boy Taorin is next. Taorin is a very interesting unit. He is kind of a nuker as well. This is kind of a nuker banner, to be honest. His skill is able to increase art gauge by 20, and you get an additional 20 if you're not in a status element, which if you're nuking, you're probably not going to be afflicted with any status elements. Most of the time. Sometimes you might be. His art is able to increase his damage by 50% every time it's used up to a maximum of 250%. And then with his true art, he increases his attack by the number of dark units on the team, which people told me that he actually counts for this. So if you're running a team that's all dark units, guess what? He's going to be getting a total of 200% attack up, which is pretty nasty, especially for a nuker. Of course, this is only for him, mind you, not for the rest of the team. So keep that in mind if you're like, oh my god, 200% attack up for the whole team. No, it's only for him. If you still want that attack up buff, he's still going to have to go to like Dark Cane if you're looking for mono dark attack ups. His unique ability though, Resolute. He gets art gauge 50 up when the battle starts. I don't know if this is the same thing because Rivi has a similar passive to this, but I don't know if it's when battle starts or quest starts. Because if it's when battle starts, that means that every stage transition, he gets 50 art gauge up. I'm not for sure if it's similar to Rivi's. It might be, it might not be. We'll have to wait and see. Also, he does have a damage 60% up when the enemy is under 30% HP, which I think is one of the highest eliminate abilities in the entire game at the moment. For the next unit, we got Ashley. I've never seen Ashley spelled like that, but we gonna call her Ashley in this one. She actually got released, I think, a while ago on JP. By a while ago, I mean like last year? Year before last? Is she part of Sacred Union? She actually might be part of Sacred Union. But we still don't get the Saga event with this one. Because she is from a Saga. I know that for a fact. So since we've never heard of this unit, I'm going to break her down completely. So when using her skill, if her skill crits, you increase your arts by 50. Is that what that says? Yeah, by 50. Art is able to increase all allies' critical resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. And you reduce the enemy's damage by 20%. If it's inflicted by the enemies I'm sorry, the sun is like beaming down on me. It's like literally, it's like the Smash logo, like right behind me. Also, y'all see that Smash announcement? Sora to close the door on Smash. That's some crazy ass like symbolism shit. That was really like one of the dopest like endings I've ever seen to anything, I think, in entertainment. Increase allies' critical resistance by 20% for 10 seconds. Reduce the enemy's damage by 30% if it is inflicted by the enemy that critically hit by the arts. If it's inflicted by the enemy that critically hit by this art for 5 seconds. Oh, okay. I'm dumb. I see what it's saying. So if this art critically hits, you also reduce the enemy's damage by 30%. There we go. Like, why couldn't it just say that? True art, 33,000% fire damage physical. Increase all allies damage to weak elemental enemies by 60% and reduce all allies damage from weak elemental enemies by 25%. For the next units on the banner, we got Hanoka. She's decent, I will say. Decent unit. And Raki, I used to always call this unit Rocky, but no. No, his brother is so much better. So that is the banner. And Jesus Christ, is this thing disgusting. If I look at this from like a value point of view, Hanukkah, Jesus Christ, OP. Hanoka, Raki, both like, they don't offer that much value. I think that their value is pretty decent. Like, even if I'm looking at this from like a new player perspective or like a player that doesn't own a lot of the high-end units, right? I still think that these two units aren't necessarily going to help you a tremendous amount. Like, if you get Raki, then what are you gonna do? Right? Like, if you are trying to get, let's say, like Tao Ren, then it's whatever. You know what? Actually, looking at this banner is really a veteran type of banner, I feel like. It's more of an in-game player banner because this banner, I want to say, for newer players or people that's been playing the game, this banner has such little value to you because you have two nukers, even with HAO, he's a nuker himself. Yeah, that's actually crazy. I think this is probably a trap for new players. I talked about this in yesterday's video, but the reason why nukers aren't good units for newer people is because you need so much more to make nuke comps work. And also nuke comps viability in terms of like long-term investment in the game, they're really only used to farm stuff for the most part. You're not really nuking like Ganon and stuff like that. I mean, you can. There are comps out there that do that. But like the everyday average Joe Grand Summoners player is not going to be nuking Ganon or not going to be nuking Vits. The only thing they're probably going to be nuking is like the newest events that come out, like the crossover events and stuff like that. So yeah, this banner is really not new player friendly in that regard. Nukers take a lot of investment in terms of other units, in terms of team comps and equipment setups. Like, it's going to be so hard to recommend summoning for HAO as a newer player. And same thing with Tao Ren, because it's like, hey, what do we do for the second banner? We put two nukers on it. I think the verdict with this banner, or what I'm getting at here, is that if you're newer to the game, I think you do one summon, man. I really do. I think you might do just one summon, see if you can luck out, get HAO, get Tao Ren, walk away happy. But there's no reason for you to summon on this banner, in my opinion, as a new player. I think that the other banner with Yo on it is actually significantly better because Yo is at least an archgener, and if you get him, he will be able to help your account like instantaneously. As with HAO, if you want to get him, I think he's going to be more of a long-term investment in the sense that he may not be as strong as he can be at the moment. But if you play the game, right, granted, I feel like most people are probably not going to play the game long enough to even reach this point. If you're able to play the game long enough to acquire all the pieces of Exodia for the mono fire team, or just like, you know, fire nuke compositions, then absolutely HAO's going to be insane. But as a newer player, I think just one and done and call it quits, man. And then whenever the crossover resets and gets another guarantee, try again. For all my veterans out there and all my other people, it's kind of like the same. If you're not really good on nuke setups or like nuking teams, then I don't think that like HAO is going to be that appealing to you, nor is Tao Ren. So if you really don't care about nuking, this banner loses significant value. But for all of the other vets that have been really looking forward to this banner because HAO is that premier, top of the line, mono fire nuker, then absolutely summon. So yeah, I really feel like this is a banner meant for veterans. Like, unless you have all the pieces, the nuke comps and all that, I don't think HAO is going to be that beneficial to you. I do think you can get away with using HAO as like just a regular damage dealer, but I think that he's going to be at his strongest as a nuker. So I think that's going to be it for this should you summon. To be honest, I actually thought this was going to be a really short should you summon. And I went into this thinking that I would be recommending y'all to summon on this banner, but now like really looking at the banner and really thinking about it and also talking about it in yesterday's video and everything, I absolutely believe that this banner has little value to newer people or people that has just started playing the game. And it's definitely more of a veteran type of banner. Thank you all for coming out, though. It's been your boy Pete. Tomorrow is going to be when HAO releases, and I'm debating whether or not if I'm going to be doing a summon video or if I'm going to be doing a summon live stream. Either way, I'm going to see if I could do a special surprise for tomorrow's video. But hey, it's going to be it for this one, man. Thank you all for coming out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.